Hi, everyone. I'm Stella Sibi. I'm a health and fitness coach for women in menopause, and I am the host of this Inspire show. I always have guests who can inspire you on some way. Today we have here amazing Laura Bender. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
It is a crazy day here in Western Montana. I'm in the United States, everyone. I'm in cowboy country. I'm so excited to come to you today and to be interviewed by Stella, who is an incredible coach. Incredible. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. You are a dynamic coach. What it means?
Yes, I am a master transformational relationship coach. So, what I do is I work with female experts and high achieving women who are feeling disconnected in their love relationship. What I've noticed is that when we feel disconnected in our love relationship, how that affects women is we're not successful. We have trouble having success in our lives. And so that's what I do is as a master coach, um, I help women to master intimacy, to rock our relationships when we're 40 or better. And I am a woman who is 60 or better. And so that's what I do. I'm a relationship expert. Thanks for asking, Stella.
Wow. And you are over 60. It's incredible. You look great.
Thank you. I'm 66 years old.
Wow. I would like to look like you when I will be 66. So I 11 for 11 years. Yeah. I'm 55. Yeah. But you can you tell me your story? How did you start all these things or from younger year? What was your profession?
Thank you for asking. So, what happened for me, Stella, is I ended up in Montana so that I could go to graduate school and get my master's degree as a speech therapist. And it was 1982. That was a long time ago. And that was when the fitness industry here in America was going crazy. Everybody was feeling the burn in 1980. I don't know if some of you might remember running around with the headbands and the leg
Yes.
warmers, and we were feeling the burn.
Jane
But
Fonda.
feeling the Jane Fonda. Yes,
Yeah.
my very first workout was the Jane Fonda's album, and I felt the burn. So what happened is that I couldn't make it through graduate school because I was 22 years old, had just married my husband. So it was virtually impossible to put in the hours required to study for my master's degree. So instead, I went back to get a degree in teaching. And while I was doing that, I was teaching aerobics and health clubs. Well, I couldn't find a job as a teacher. And so what happened was I was packing women into my fitness classes. So I decided I was going to start doing this new thing called personal training. So I began in 1989, driving from home to home in my van and working women out. And in 1992, I opened the first personal training studio in the state of Montana, and I cultivated the market. So I grew the market over a 20-year period and became known as a very famous personal trainer. And I owned a business called Bodies by Bender. So in those days, what I learned was that if I could hand a woman a dumbbell, through the power of feeling stronger, she was able to speak her voice, stand in her power, and feel confident and supported because my studios only worked with women. So it was a community of women, and we
Mhm.
felt really good about ourselves. So for me, coaching came naturally. And what I discovered along the way was when I was able to master my marriage, which was failing because I was working really long hours, but I wasn't showing up at home and for my husband and my daughter in the way I really wanted to. Have you guys ever had that experience where you're working really hard and you're totally focused on your business, and then when you go home, you're still focusing on your business? So even if you're doing the mom thing and the wife thing, you're not there. You're totally unhooked. Well, that was me. And so I stuck it out in my marriage for, until our daughter went off to college, and continued not to show up for myself or show up in my marriage. You guys ever had that feeling where you feel like two different people? You feel like one woman at work and one woman at home? That's not healthy. That's bad. If that's you, get a hold of me. I can show you how to bridge the gap between the woman that you are at work and the woman you can be at home, so you can be present for yourself and your partner. And I found that out the hard way, Stella. So I learned how to bridge the gap with my husband. And that took years of pain, heartache, having to reconnect back to who I really am. And so through my journey, I closed Bodies by Bender, and I pivoted into being a transformational relationship coach. I've just been named as one of the top coaches on the rise by New York Weekly Magazine. So people are watching me now as a relationship coach. And I'm very proud to say that I've helped many women all over the world transform their financial freedom and their love relationships. So that's my story.
Wow, it's incredible. So you were in wellness industry your whole life, yeah?
Yeah,
And
from 32 until 60.
what about because my listeners are usually menopausal women. Can I ask you, did you have menopausal symptoms? Because I think you lived a healthy life. You were moving and eating healthy. Did you have also menopausal symptoms, or it was hard, or it was easy to go through?
Well, what I have to say is that perimenopause, for me, was about a month. And then menopause, my menopause symptoms, I did not have menopause symptoms. And I'll tell you why. Because I worked out every day, all day. Started meditating when I was 50, and integrated a meditation practice twice a day into my life. That wasn't long, everyone. It was like 10 minutes a couple times a day. And I've always eaten a very clean anti-inflammatory diet. But what I will tell you, Stella, is that what I noticed was when I turned 60, I looked down and my butt was bigger than it has ever been before. And I went, oh. So that's when I took the accelerator course, become an integrative health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And then I went back and I got certified as a hormone nutrition specialist, only because I wanted to find the secret to what I was experiencing. So what I learned at 60 was that my gut, your gut biome, everyone, is very different when we're over, well, for me, when I was over 60, but for so many over 50. And that's what you teach, Stella. That's your zone of genius. And so when we talk about menopausal symptoms, I didn't have a lot of menopausal symptoms, but what I do have now, and I know all of you guys can relate to this, is I have vaginal dryness. And so I would love to continue to have a healthy sexual relationship with my husband. And that is one symptom that I've experienced from going through menopause is my libido is not as high as it used to be. And I definitely have to use some bioidentical cream, hormone cream. Now, remember what I just said, everybody, biodegradable, which means it's organic. And that's something that women don't talk about. Now, as far as being, my emotions, all that, well, gosh, still, I was such a mess until I was 50. Who knows? I mean, who knows? But I do think, everybody, that it is understanding how to regulate your emotions and to really get a solid self-care plan. It really helped me a lot, Stella. Thanks for asking.
So anti-inflammatory food, inflammatory food, sorry, and that you were moving every day and meditate every day. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so much more than that. It's about finding pleasure, having a pleasurable life, and in our lives, applying real self-care, because self-care doesn't happen from the outside in. I mean, I ate healthy, I did yoga, I did meditation, but it didn't always have sticking power. I didn't always feel pleasure inside of me. I didn't always feel that feeling of satisfaction. So, what I have to share on that is that if you are a menopausal woman and you're exploring shifting your diet, starting to exercise, Stella is a great person to talk to about that. She's got a great workout program. But I also have to share with you, if you are recognizing that you're not feeling that pleasure and that feeling, that deep feeling of contentment, that's where you would get a hold of me, because that's where we connect with your emotional relationship. Because actually, I'm the best partner with Stella, because what Stella shows you and then what I bring to the party with connecting intimately to what you feel, that pleasure. Now you really have something, sister.
Yeah. And how would you start with somebody? What is your program? How can you have when they need you?
Yes. So what I would say is that the best way to start working with me is to schedule a relationship reset call. And Stella has a link to my schedule. She's got my website, and you can schedule a relationship reset call with me. And what's going to happen in that call is I'm going to help you design your vision blueprint for what you would love to see, to feel, to experience in your life right now, and in your life where you see yourself in 3 years. So I'm going to help you create your blueprint in terms of your body, your mind, and your spirit. And in that hour, you're going to leave the session with a proven framework that you can use again and again, that's going to help you to move forward so that you can feel deeply connected. There's that self-care toolkit, resilient, and also master your communication skills, not only with yourself, but with your partner and with every relationship you have in your life. Now, that sounds pretty impossible in 1 hour, doesn't it? But what's possible is for me to give you a framework. So you will get your vision blueprint with some recommendations from me as to the next steps you can take. Now, if we're a good fit for coaching at that time, then we can have that conversation. But our intention of our strategy session is to help you leave with a blueprint that you can use. And that's my gift.
It's great. What do you think? Many women in their life, especially who are stay at home moms, they don't nurture themselves enough because everybody else is more important than their body or their soul, and I think they need to we need to change it because they have to think about themselves. They have to have time for themselves to clean inside and out and to really nurture their soul with something they really like to do, uh, reading or learning something new. But they really need at least 30 minutes in a whole day just to be themselves, uh, not just to think about their children and the husband and everything else. Sometimes we need really to think about ourselves, and I think usually we forgot that, and we have to learn it if we didn't until now. What do you
Yes, I
think?
agree. I agree, Stella. And what I will say is, ladies, here's what I'd like to share with you. We all, I don't care what country you live in, we have all been enculturated by our cultures to be selfless. And
Hmm.
what happens when we are selfless is we have no idea who we are. At the end of the day, you might find yourself now going, who am I? And that is an empty place to be. Or maybe we're attaching to our children and we're living our lives through our children. How unfair to our children is that? And how unfair to ourselves, because we never give ourselves a chance to truly discover who we are, what we love. Here's the thing, it's really popular these days to live with the man you love and to lose that intimate connection, those wonderful conversations you used to have. And you know what? It's because we're distracting ourselves with being selfless. We're giving up connecting with ourselves. How can we expect our partner to connect with us when we
Hmm.
can't connect with us? And so, what I would love to share with everybody is that, look, don't give yourself up to show up for everybody else. Because I'm going to tell you guys, I'm 66 years old and I regret those times in my life that I was selfless. And I really feel bad that I ever listened to my girlfriends who said, oh, you're such a good mom. Look at you. You showed up selflessly and you made that homemade cake and you stayed up to midnight. I really regret that. I wish in the face of these friends, I would have said, thank you for sharing that, but I'm the arbiter of what's best for me. And I choose not to do that anymore, right? I choose to show up as myself and not be selfless. You see, we live in a culture where even women reinforce this bad behavior. And so it's even
Hmm.
a bigger struggle for us, isn't it, Stella? It's even a
Yes.
bigger struggle.
We have to, I think, and with that example, what we were selfless, we didn't give a good example for our daughters also. So I think
That's so
they
true.
they 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 had to change it. Somebody had to change it.
Well, yes. And here's the thing, and this is true because, and Stella knows this, I'm a big thinker, right? I think big and I think big for women. I've always thought big for women. And guys, guess what? You deserve to have a life that's worthy of you. You've got a calling. From the time you're a little tiny kid, the creator, the universe has said to you, there's nothing you cannot do, be, and create. But we have to step up to us. We have to show up inside of us, for us, by us, and not expect others to fill that hole, right? Now, let me tell you this, because I think this is important. Because, okay, menopausal ladies, here's the deal. We did our thing. We did our thing. We were the good moms. We did the thing. Now it's time for us to take our seat at the table as great leaders, great examples to other women. It's time for us to show up, right? Show up for us, eat that great food, listen to incredible coaches like Stella, do the thing, and then show up for your sisters. Be that example in the world, right? Why do I look younger? Because I live my truth, and so can you. There's nothing you cannot do. You're unstoppable. It's the truth. It is true. Don't be
Yes.
selfless. Stop it.
Age doesn't define us. I always telling that. We
No,
can,
excuse my French, is
when we have,
bullshit.
yeah. Because when we are healthy, when we are energized, we have our vitality and we know themselves what we like, and we start to do that. It's really a good thing, and we can do anything what we want.
Yes, and that's powerful. And I'm glad you said that, Stella. I think that's a really powerful. And here's the thing, everybody. We move in the world with desire just by our very nature as women. We're forces of power. You're a force of power. I think Stella and I talked a lot about this when we first met. Do you know that you hold the keys to the kingdom? You are the power, and it at this time in our lives during menopause, this is another powerful moment. This is one of the most powerful moments in our life, by the way, because this is a rite of passage. And the rite of passage and passion is we're moving into wisdom, into that zone of wisdom, right? And that's where connecting emotionally inside of us. And now, guess what? Give yourself permission to take that next breath, accept the breath, accept the pleasure, accept feeling, that those warm, fuzzy feelings of, oh my gosh, I just feel so warm, and this is so safe for me. And I really feel content. Because when you don't feel content, it's not one answer. It's not just about what you put in your mouth, right? It's not just about looking pretty in a leotard, right? It's not. It's about how you see yourself, feel yourself, and know yourself. So being selfless is like being invisible. Do you feel invisible? Well, if you feel selfless, you are invisible. If you've been selfless, you can feel invisible. That's a terrible way to feel. You don't feel that way anymore. That's why we're here, right, Stella? That's why Stella's got this great show, and she brought me on board. Yay!
Yeah, yeah. I think many women think that after 40, 50, they finish, they are not feminine anymore, and they won't be at the beginning of the end, and these things. And that's why I want to empower them to and you too, that we can change everything, and after 50 we can rebirth and change everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
in
You know what?
relationship,
Oh yeah, keep
you can
going.
help in relationships to change. Yes.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? When's the last time, you guys, you took your clothes off and looked at yourself in the mirror and said, oh my God, I love my hips. Oh my God, I love this belly. This belly produced these beautiful children. Oh my God, look at these eyes. When's the last time you actually tasted your food with no distractions
Mhm.
and noticed every single flavor? That's the single greatest tip I could give you guys today. Whether you get a hold of me, you'll be glad you did, just saying. But whether you get a hold of me or not, when you leave this podcast, this video, Stella's incredible program, take this tip with you. Take those moments every day to feel the feels and celebrate this beautiful body you have. That's real intimacy. And that's really, we talk about inflammation. Inflammation is cutting yourself off. And, we talk about dis-ease. Dis-ease. Did you know you can eat healthy and still experience dis-ease? Did you know you can still work out and experience dis-ease? Because it doesn't happen on the outside in. Take those moments every day. Taste your food. Watch a sunrise and feel it. Let go, and accept, unhook, right?
Enjoy the
Really make
little
it.
things.
Mhm.
Enjoy everything around you. I sometimes said that imagine if everything will disappear, for what you are not grateful, what will stay.
Mhm.
So we have to enjoy now what we have, what we like, what go out to nature and enjoy, as you said, the sunshine, the moon, or anything. We 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 sometimes have to stop and just enjoy.
Yeah, I think that even sometimes in our darkest moments, everybody, and we've all had that. I mean, no one's exempt and even if you were great, there was this thing called the pandemic, and everybody experienced some form or another of trauma. Everyone. And so, what I would say is that stop and recognize we have one body, one life force, one opportunity. Sometimes laying in bed with the covers over your body, feeling that mattress under your body, feeling those warm covers, feeling maybe your heart beating in your chest. Feel it, be there, know it. That is truly the seat of being grateful and intimacy and feeling it and being present. That really takes it down to the basics. Because on a basic level, even with all of these external things that we share here, we can still, I mean, it's really the most important point of power is you, how you feel, what's going on inside of you. And sometimes even in the toughest times, feeling your bed and being grateful you have something over you. You have something over you. Even if you're laying on the floor, you have something covering you. Feel that. That's something to really be grateful for. Isn't that something? I believe that that's what makes a change in the world, is when we fully recognize those moments and what that feels like. Now we can reach out to another woman who really needs us, because that's a great why to move through menopause and take our seat at the table and reclaim our power.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a nice future if we really wanted to help each other, not just sometimes women, don't like each other, but I would like to empower each other and to say sometimes just you look good, not with envy, but with really with joy, with pleasure to say you look good.
Yeah, and looking good is, you know what? The easiest thing we can do in the world is to go in the world and smile, go in the world and share our love. And you know what, guys? The greatest thing and what makes everybody happy and creates this energy of peace and joy and success and beauty is to see a woman, like, look at Stella, the beautiful red hair, her beautiful presence. Tell her, you know, you go out, you go to the coffee place, say to the coffee person, oh my God, I love your necklace. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for you, you know, because this creates that energy and you can start feeling real good about yourself.
Yeah. So let's, if you could go back in time, would you change anything in your life?
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think I'd be sleeping in a car. I would not be sleeping in a car. Um, I think what I would change is I would have danced on the bar at Coyote Ugly when I was 30 instead of dancing on the bar at Coyote Ugly when I was 59.
Mhm.
That's what I would do. So Coyote Ugly is a famous kind of bar here in America. It's in San Diego. There's a movie about it. And you can go there and get up on the bar and they play country music and you can dance.
Ah, yeah.
And I did that when I was 59. I just walked in there. I was in San Diego for a conference and I said, oh, Coyote Ugly. It was by my hotel. So I just walked in the front door and I said, I'd like to. So they call it, say, who wants to dance on the bar? I said, I'd like to dance on the bar. So I got up and danced on the bar, got off the bar and left.
It's okay. I would too.
I could say I did it. Nobody was there to see it, but I knew it. Yeah. So
Oh,
I think that's what I would change, Stella. I think the other thing I would change is that I knew at 30 what I know now. Yeah, I would have had a better relationship with my husband. Um, and I would have enjoyed all the money I made instead of just continuing to get on the hamster wheel to make more. I would have really found pleasure in the moment, you know? So that's what I would say.
and what is your message to my listener
Oh my
at
God,
the
this
end?
whole time has been filled with messages. Well, I guess my message is similar to yours, Stella, is you know what, guys? If you think you're old, you're right. And if you go through the world, you're in menopause and you're running around with blue-gray hair and saying, oh, I'm too old to do this, I'm too old to do that, and I can't, and I never do this, and I won't do that, and I don't do this, you're not going to have a very fun life. So I would say, look, it's ridiculous to attach to age. Although I do say sometimes I surprise myself when I walk by the mirror because I see my mother, and that kind of scares me. But I have to say, don't give up. You're not old. I'm a grandma, but you know what? I'm just starting my life. I'm just starting my next great declaration at 66, and so can you. So can you. That's what I have to say.
Yes, do what you want. Don't stop yourself. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Thank you, Stella. I
And
love
have fun always.
interviewing by you. Yeah, I love being interviewed by you. And so, ladies, if you'd like to get a hold of me, grab the link that Stella's sharing here, and we'll have a conversation. My gift, I'm excited to meet with you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.